They probably are. But yeah, hello everyone, and welcome to the Bleed 2 Story New Games Normal Beginner Tournament. This is a tournament hosted by the Bleed 2 community, where we are focusing on beginner runners and their journeys to learning a new game. So we can see here the runners are about to get ready. Zombie is doing a little bit warming up here. And we should probably present ourselves. I am Firesplitter and I'm gonna be one of the commentators today.
I'm Dead on Arrival and I'm the other commentator today.
So if the runners are getting themselves ready to start right away, gonna check in so things are going. Okay, there we go. Countdown is about to start soon.
That's just a reminder for everyone who has not actually seen what this run is about. Basically, the runners will be full clearing the game on the normal difficulty, using only the guns and katana, or just the straight katana. No other items are allowed, and no other jumps are allowed, except for the general air boost.
Yes.
It will start at normal, and it will end after the epilogue has been finished, and the game clear screen appears.
Yes. It should be noted that this is a double elimination tournament, and our runners today have lost one round earlier. So both the runners here today are running for the lifetime in the tournament.
Yes,
whoever loses this round is out of the tournament. So there is a lot on stake here on this one match. And it's starting. The race starting. Sade is starting a little bit behind, so we have to keep that in mind as we are commentating.
Yep.
Looks like Zombie is having a really good time getting out of the house. Brim did not want to stay home today. He got fed up with her video games. And
absolutely, the video games were just bugging out far too much for her to continue playing.
Yeah. We're seeing a little bit of platforming action here as the runners are going through the first course. Seems like Zombie is having a little bit of trouble with the platforming section here.
The platforming in this section is a little bit tough, just as a general reminder.
Yeah,
but it seems like Sade has caught up with them in regards of even starting slowly behind them. It seems Sade has caught up.
Yeah, the platforming on stage 1 and 2 are probably some of the rougher platforming sections of the run. The only platforming section that is comparable to those, and it's probably worse, is the platforming section in the warship a little bit later.
The graveyard, and we'll see that today.
Yeah, we'll see it 2, maybe even 3 times.
I was gonna say, given that how badly the graveyard can do to your entire run, it can hurt so badly. Even top runners, that can ruin runs. That entire section is just mean.
Yes. Now the runners are getting into the first boss fight, which is the
Jumper Core.
Blast Jumper.
Oh, Blast Jumper. I thought it was Jumper Core for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I'm also really bad at that name, but yeah, it's Blast. Yeah. So now they're going into the first of many all-scores in this game. This section is quite a little bit of relaxation after the first boss going into the second boss. This section is rarely a problem for runners.
This section is more of just a test to see where your shooting and aiming skills lie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Before going into the next boss fight, which is I don't remember his name.
The Mirror Core.
The Mirror Core, thank you.
The Mirror Core shoots out a lot of bullets. The runners want to see a lot of purple lines, not that many yellow lines. They also want the boss to turn purple as well.
It seems like the bosses are trying to serve up some bad RNG tonight, as we see Sade has already gotten a yellow launch at her, and with Zombie, they're getting a lot of yellow strings. And Sade completes the first section pretty quickly. Yeah, but both of them have completed it in pretty close proximity to each other, so I'm wondering to see how the rest of this run goes down.
Yeah, the runs are really close to one another. We have to keep in mind that Sade started 3 seconds later because of stream delay, so in reality Sade is maybe close to 3.5 seconds ahead right now, but the runners are pretty much in sync here, which is pretty normal out of the first stage.
Yeah.
First two stages very rarely offers a lot of difference between the runners because the stages are really not that difficult. There's very few things to mess up. But this is looking a little scary for Zombie here going into the kitty shopper. The health situation is looking a little rough.
Well, as Jackets would like to also say, when it comes to practice time, Sade has a pretty big advantage. And we also saw in the last race that that can be either the maker or the destroyer of a lot of runs, as we can see here. Going into it, Zombie seems to have already cleared out the kitty chopper.
Yeah, Zombie's getting out a little ahead here, out of the boss fight here.
We'll see how that pays off in the long run.
Going into the tunnel. Both the runs are making a relatively slow tunnel here. A fun fact about this tunnel, it's very possible to complete that tunnel without landing once. You can just dash through the entire tunnel.
Is it actually? I did not know that. That's very interesting to know, and I will have to look into that for my next round.
Yeah, there is a movement mechanic in this game called dash resetting, which we haven't seen too much of this tournament, as it's the beginner tournament. But it's a very important movement mechanic. But here we go, this is a little scary. Sade is actually getting out with 1 health left, or Zombie I mean, is getting out with 1 health left.
I would take the necessary reset at this point unless they can try to no-soul it to this point.
But it doesn't seem like Zombie is going for that.
Oh no, that's gonna cost them.
Yeah, just when you said it.
The problem is that even on 1 health, it's very tricky. Unless you're in the middle of a boss fight, you should always try to reset if you are close to the beginning of a stage or the beginning of the boss fight. Because on 1 health, so many bad things can happen.
Yeah, it's always, in a race setting especially, it's always preferable to take a safety death over losing up to 20 seconds. We have seen many rounds of this tournament end because of unfortunate deaths in the middle of a boss fight.
I'm curious to see how the rest of this run plays out, because both people seem to be within the same kind of time range, but we have seen how that can go in the later stages where it gets much tougher and the skill definitely is shown off a lot more.
Yeah, already on the next course we gotta see some differences between the runners in terms of strategies, I think. And it's only gonna keep on increasing from that point on.
I think the best...
Yeah.
My apologies. I think the best test to kind of prove where the runner's skill lies along with knowledge of the game is against the ninja, where your general luck, but also your knowledge of how the look will go down just is shown off, and Zombie failing that car one is a bit of a struggle.
Failing that pink car, that is devastating.
The pink car is probably one of the easier ones to fail, though, as you've got to be essentially directly underneath it.
It is. There is some other ways to do it, but those ways are way riskier. You can actually jump up and face the car and like reflect it back, but that is very scary. Especially as you can reflect too early, and then the pink coat is disappearing from the car, and you cannot reflect it.
Absolutely.
It should be noted this game with the reflect that when things turns pink, if you are too early to reflect it, it's gonna lose its pink coat, and you are not gonna be able to reflect it. So you cannot just jump up and mash the reflect button on something and hope to get the reflex.
In the earlier stages of when I did speedrunning, that was definitely one of the things I was told, was that you can reflect it the moment they were going off. And then I found out, that's not true at all. You have to wait for them to start moving. Yeah. It's definitely something to keep in mind during these runs. You're going to want to have to wait for them until they start moving. And once they do, that's when you want to start going after them.
Yeah, exactly.
Reflex are also extremely important during these sections, as it will just drop so much health.
Sade is having a really good red sprite here.
Absolutely.
Zombie is getting a little more behind after the red sprite fight there. It's gonna be interesting to see here how it's gonna go. This course is mostly composed of auto-scrollers and some boss fights. There is a little bit of platforming section though at the end of this course, but that is mostly for the build-up for the which is gonna be a long platforming section. Yeah.
It's actually quite short. You can very much clear it within 1 to 2 jumps. And what Sade's looking for at this point is they're looking for exactly that, a 3-stack attack of the purple diagonals, and you're going to want to reflect that every time. The damage in that really does add up very quickly.
Sade is not gonna go for the katana strategy here on...
Oh, that may add up. That may help Zombie catch up a little bit.
That may help Zombie catch up if Zombie is going for that strategy.
That strategy is also very tricky though, and you should only try to do it if you have an exceedingly large amount of health.
Nope,
it does not seem like Zombie's going to be going for that strategy, but... Does not seem like Zombie's going for the strategy.
That is to be expected though, because this is after all a beginner tournament. Zombie is going for a really slow strategy here though.
This strategy is going to definitely hurt him in the long run with the speed on this is needed.
Yeah, you cannot not shoot at the boss when you can shoot at the boss. You have to always be shooting at the boss during the openings, especially on the Ninja, because the Ninja is such a slow boss fight to do. Even normally it's a slow boss fight, but like to not use the openings to get this to the full advantage is like really not good. Sade is going into the Rex rocket fight now with quite a little bit of health. This is gonna be a scary moment.
Yeah, if something goes wrong during this fight, then that could very well give Zombie the needed effort to catch up. And Sade is on 1 hit away, so this may be another situation where a necessary death may have to be taken in order to save a little bit of time. But going to the fact that Zombie is coming into the Rex rocket fight right now, that may not even be possible. We're gonna have to see how that plays out for Sade.
Yeah, what needs to be mentioned here is that the scary part with this boss fight, really to have a low health bar, is that one hit can easily lead to you taking 2 damage because you can easily fall off if you take a hit.
It's
so
definitely
very scary to have low health here. And there we go. Is Sade gonna do it? Yes! There we go! Sade delivered on the boss kill. Zombie is catching up quite a bit on this fight though.
Yeah, so, as
Zombie is just barely behind now.
It seems like that death that happened on the highway didn't even happen along with a mistake, as they are now catching up very quickly.
Yeah. Zombie got up quite a bit on that Rex rocket fight. Might be a result of Sade being force play really safe due to the low health situation.
Low health can also sometimes be the reason for the most risky plays, as sometimes even the knowledge of, oh my god, I'm about to die, may be caused to full send as much as possible.
Yeah. Now they are going into the shaft spammer. There is actually a strategy here where you use katana to try to clean up. None of the runs are going for that though today, so that is...
The katana strategy itself is a very powerful strategy, as the katana has a very large hitbox.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that will easily allow players to get through as much projectile spam, blocks, and unbreakable situations as possible. It is definitely one of those things that you do want to use a lot of during these sections. With the warship being the biggest example of, I need to use the katana.
Yeah, the reason why the katana is really good on that fight though is because you clean up so many of the small things. So if the boss starts spinning around, you have a full opening on the boss, which can lead to you being able to easily do a 2-cycle of that boss fight, or a 1.5 cycle.
Sade is taking an interesting route here in the auto-scroller section, going up top instead of opting to go on the bottom, and we'll see how that plays out here, as it seems like both of them are doing pretty well on the auto-scroller section. However, one hit will slow down the entire screen and can cause a lot of issues during this part of the game.
Yep. This section is basically, it's gonna go faster and faster, but to make it a little more beginner-friendly, they decided to make so that if you take damage, it's gonna slow down. However, from a speedrunning perspective, that is probably the worst thing that can happen.
Absolutely, and it can definitely be the cause for some panic during some higher level runs if that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
Both of them are now going under Robo-Guppy, and it's very interesting to see this.
Yeah, they're also not getting into the gauntlet, the boss gauntlet.
Both of them teaming very well on health.
Yeah.
Now we'll have to see how the RNG plays out in their favor, as this can be one of those sections that really does benefit the most. Zombie going for that hit is definitely going to benefit them. It seems like they've almost both caught up to each other, and it is very interesting to see this.
What is really worth to keep in mind here, though, is that having this health situation that the rounds are at now is actually quite not preferable. We are maybe gonna see some of the runners take some intentional damage here to be able to die quickly before the white fight.
White in and of itself is a boss fight that you do need a lot of health for, so even if you can get to that section flawlessly, that would be the most preferred method, though it is really hard to do such ideas.
Yeah. None of the runs are seeming to take an intentional death before the white fight here, so that's gonna be a little scary. We can see what strategies to use here.
It does seem like Zombie, though, has caught up in full, and they are now both on the white section. Zombie getting into it a little bit earlier.
Zombie is using the slow motion strategy here. That is a really interesting and good choice, I think, for a beginner tournament.
Going for the attack on the ring itself, that is going to be a little bit of a problem, because you can normally get a lot more damage out of the out of missing that, but that is not a strat I would expect anyone to really know at this level of play.
Yeah, Zombie is going for a kind of hybrid on that, though, by using slow motion to be able to perform that trick, although slowly, and it's really paying off.
It seems to have worked out. It seems to have worked out in full, as they are now almost a full quarter of health away or ahead of Sade at this point in time.
Yeah, Sade is using the most beginner-friendly method of just standing there and just letting the boss take damage whenever it takes damage. I did not expect Sade to go for that strategy.
A strategy that is more commonly seen in higher levels of play is the katana strategy, where the players will try to get up as close as much as possible to the white fight. But it seems as if it's definitely worked out in Zombie's favor, as they are now ahead in this fight itself.
Yeah, indeed. What needs to be mentioned, though, is that there is an even faster strat, and that is the spinning around strat, when you spin around with the boss. But that strategy is really used even on a higher level of play.
In my ideas, that's got to be one of those make or to break it ones, where you've got a really good run and you've just got to full send the run. Taking a bit of damage here, they're going to want to have to take on the segment core.
Not looking good here going to segment slider.
Segment slider is
Zombie is probably looking to take on that. That's when you want to take an intentional death.
Now, unfortunately, that will put them. Unfortunately, that will put them behind the actual fight itself. However, as a whole, segment slider is one of the most RNG-based fights in this entire section, and is definitely going to have to be one of those that you've got to look into.
No. There is actually one worse RNG fight.
There is one worse, but we're not going to bring that one up yet. I said it's one of, not one of the... I said it's one of the worst, not it is the worst. It's one of the worst. We'll see it later with the Ant Battalion.
That is the most RNG intensive fight in this section.
But as a whole, this is going to be one of the harder fights to do, with Valentine being the third most in randomness. Actually, wait, no, it'd be the Ninja, wouldn't it? Then Valentine in her first phase. But it seems like that intentional death has actually worked out for them in a good way.
Ninja is actually not that bad from an RNG perspective. I would say that Red Sprite is absolutely more RNG heavy than...
Yeah, because you're going to want to get those pink shots from them, and that will always add up to extra damage. Sade, on the other hand, being really well going. They are both at the exact same phase in the fight. With Zombie catching ahead, or not Zombie, Sade being ahead by just a bit, and Zombie slowly catching up. I don't think some of them it seems like some of them may understand the fact that they do have unlimited boosts. However, that's going to be a little bit of a thing that is going to be required during these next sections of the fight.
Yeah, now they're getting up against Nemesis Core, which is a two-stage boss fight. The first stage is
Zombies catching up.
Relatively simple. It feels a little bit like a normal shoot-em-up.
It's definitely something that the runners are going to want to enjoy during this section, as these next sections are not kind at all. They're going to want to take this moment to take as much of a breather as they can. Otherwise, this may backfire just on a more mental basis for them.
What needs to be mentioned here is that from this point onwards, this course is getting really rough.
Zombie getting that hit off on that segment is very beneficial. But if you can get both of them off, that'd be wonderful. And they've managed to nail the reflect back, which is very good.
It's looking really, really close. Good for the runners now. It's really, really close. Both runs are really close to one another.
Oh, it seems like RNG paid out a little bit in Zombie's favor, as one of those segments did get close enough to deal a little bit of damage to the outer core segments, but unfortunately, they're not going to go for the purple, and now it will be purple, and they will be able to get that off.
Yeah, one thing that needs to be mentioned there is that the boss has to turn purple. If the boss doesn't turn purple on the first one, it has to turn purple on the second one. Yep. It's looking really good here, and will Sade get it? Oh, just barely getting an opening there.
Despite the fact that Sade is behind by a couple minutes, by a couple seconds, it does seem to be pretty good in this regard, with how it's all playing out.
Even. Let's see here. I'm not really liking Sade's health situation going into the bubble section, and Sade doesn't like it either.
Yeah, I was just saying, they're going to be taking that intentional. They're going to be taking that intentional death. They're going to be like, no thanks, I'm not taking that damage.
Yeah,
oh, we're on a one-hit basis.
Taking that.
Zombies on a one-hit from death, but they're going to have to take that necessary death into the Ant Battalion, but they make it barely.
Sade is back in a really sketchy health situation again, though. This is why this section of the run is so rough.
Well, you can see right now Zombie is prepping for that auto death. And there it is on a Pac-Man as well. Let's hope that RNG does stay in their favor.
Sade is going into a boss fight now as well. The question is, will Sade also take an intentional death or not? Because Sade is actually also in a really rough health situation. Despite
it does seem like it.
Before the part, yeah, they are going for that.
It does seem like they are going for that intentional death there to avoid any later stage things.
Taking the death there.
Zombie getting ahead.
Yeah, Zombie is about half up. There we go, beautiful. Pac-Man for Sade, which is really what you want to see here, because Sade is a little bit behind. It's always nice to have these races being close and even.
It does seem like, though, that the luck has been pretty good in Zombie's favor, and this will be the closing out of the Ant Battalion. One of the most RNG-heavy fights in the entire game, and is one of the most painful in that regard. But it seems like they are going to be able to clear it out before Sade will, and they are both going to be going into the showdown fight relatively close to each other.
Yep. There are like two patterns that are really outstanding for the Ant-Battalion fight you just saw. It's the Pac-Man pattern, which is really, really good because it can deal a lot of damage. And then there is the Rocket pattern, which is outstanding because it's really not giving you much opening to do the damage. You do want to see Pac-Man, but you don't want to see Rockets.
Personally, I think one of the harder ones to get down is the Shark, as you are able to hit them through the floor with the katana. However, the amount of time you get with that damage is not going to be very high.
Yeah. So, the runs are not going into the showdown. They are going to face up against a 4-face battle against Valentine.
That's probably one of the worst patterns you're going to get with the Purple Wisp, is that pattern right there. However, if you can get those reflects off in that regard, that will deal a lot of extra damage to Valentine, which you may be required to need in these kinds of races.
Yeah.
It seems like the fight is going well for Zombie, and for Sade, it is also going pretty well, as they are pretty neck and neck with this with these runs so far.
Yeah, it's a very, very even run between the two runners. We have to keep in mind that Sade started about 3 seconds after Zombie, and it might be relevant because this is a really, really even race so far.
We'll have to see if Sade can complete it within the 3-second mark before that 3 seconds is up. Not getting the reflex off of Zombie, that's going to be a little rough there. However, they are going to be able to nail that second phase.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much when there's a little health left from the section there. I would probably say that they save time by not reflecting it.
Definitely an idea that will help out.
Big Bullet is actually absorbing your damage.
Because you do have to reflect, and that will take away from your gunfire.
Yeah, and the bullet is in the way of your gunfire, and the gunfire doesn't actually go through big bullets. So I would say it probably saves a little time there.
2 pink rings right there for Zombie right there, while Sade is getting onto the same phase as they are. This is a pretty close race between the two.
Yeah, this is really, really close, and Zombie getting the reflect there, and boom, Zombie is out of the fight. Will Zombie go for the... no, Zombie is not going for that. Zombie's not going for the cutscene skip.
Now, explain to me what the cutscene skip is. I don't actually know what it is.
Oh, I'm gonna explain it. basically, when you are fighting against Valentine 3 and she goes down, before the 4th phase, when their countdown is, you take damage. And you take damage until you have 1 health left, and when she rises up, you are jumping down for the final time to take the final death. And that way you skip this entire section that you see on Sade's screen now. And you instantly get to the point where Sade is now. So you skip entire, I think it's 7 or 8 seconds cutscene by taking a death. You are obviously having to get back into the game afterwards. But you have to do it like right as Valentine's rises up. If you do it earlier, you are getting thrown back to the first phase of the fight. So it's really a little risky involved in strategy if you want to do it as early as possible.
Now it does seem like they're not going to go for the...
Yeah, they are not going for that.
It does not seem like they're going to be going for the shield lock tonight, and that's going to be a big deal.
That is a big deal. That is a lot of time on the table that the runners are saying no to.
However, it does seem like that 3-second time period is going to be hugely beneficial, as they are now both going into the epilogue fight very soon, with one of them already being into it.
This is a very even race so far. It's gonna be interesting to see how the epilogue treats the runners.
The epilogue is definitely one of the more brutal sections that you do have to be knowledgeable on to get a fairly good time in. With it being a 5-stage boss fight area, and with the rival being at the very end of it, it is one of those stages that you do want to have at least some knowledge on how it works before going into it.
Yeah.
Especially for speedruns.
Yeah. I would say Sade seems to be like one boss fight behind.
Definitely does look like that, but however, that health situation is not looking great on Sade's end with how much time they need. Zombies scaling the tower really well, actually. Quite kind of impressive how well they're doing it.
Yeah.
However, that damage is not going to treat them nicely when it comes to that. However, Sade is getting fairly lucky over there with the purple placements. However, the missiles were not kind for Zombie, as they did not place in correct spots for him to be able to benefit from them.
Yeah. It's gonna be very interesting to see here how this is gonna end up, because the runs are really close to one another here. I can't stress enough how close call this is. And it's probably gonna come down to the rival fight, how this is going. It's gonna come down to who rival treats the best, because rival is also a really RNG intensive fight. I would dare to say it's actually even more so than the anti-battalion fight we saw earlier.
The rival fight at the end or the rival fight now? Because I would say the rival fight at the end is one of...
The rival fight at the end.
The rival fight at the end is definitely going to be one of those situations where if you do get lucky, it is going to help benefit you. However, if your luck does not really pour out as much as you need it to be, it will still be a good fight in and of itself, as you are always able to hit the rival when it comes to most part phases. Not getting any reflex off with that, with the spider core over there. Not going to get any reflex off going into that. However, they will hit that rocket, which is going to be beneficial. Their health is not looking great, and they are not sitting on the left side of the screen for this section. They are on 1 hit of health. I'm interested to see how this will play out for them.
It's going pretty well so far, I would say, but yeah, the rival fight, as well as the anti-battalion fight, has 2 outstanding patterns that are
Zombie's
really
definitely going to be wanting to take an intentional death here, as they are going into the next. If they do not take an intentional death, I'm going to be questioning what their strategy is there, because this is going to be very interesting.
Oh yeah, they're going for the intentional death.
They're going for the intentional death. That's very good. Seems like they were learning from their past mistakes, and they take the intentional death immediately upon first opportunity. That is a very good play that they have just pulled off there. Something interesting to note about this, about the mining core. If it shoots in one beam area, it will not shoot again, at least on normal mode from my experience. It will not shoot in that exact same area again, so those middle 2 paths would now be safe for him.
Yeah. But yeah, about the rival fights we are coming up to that, there are 2 patterns to look out for there. It is the katana pattern, which is gonna make the rival start reflect bullets, which is what runners do not want to see, as that is a huge DPS loss. And then there is the gun and kick pattern, which is really good, as it leaves the rival exposed for a lot of time for damage. In addition to that, you are getting allowed to reflect a kick at the end of it, if you're lucky.
It is absolutely one of the best ones, and we get the tennis match, but they are not going to reflect. That's going to be a huge DPS loss.
Actually, not really.
Is it really not?
No, the only time you save time by going for a tennis match is if you go for quick tennis.
Oh, really?
And quick tennis is not something I do expect rounds on this level to perform. What is worth to keep in mind, though, is that it's free damage. Oh my gosh, Zombie's getting really lucky here with the patterns, getting 2 gun patterns.
Unfortunately, they're not going to get another good dive kick, and that's going to be unfortunate. Dr. Doom is not appreciative of that.
But we have to keep in mind that Zombie is very much ahead here. Zombie just need to close out this battle to win.
Sade is definitely behind by quite a bit, and that dive kick is not purple. That is not going to be what Zombie's going to want.
It looks like game.
However, Zombie has won
this
game, and that is something that Dr. Doom would be appreciative of, even though he did not get those chances to reflect those dive kicks.
Yep, and we are going to give the first point to Zombie here. Zombie is getting the first point here.
Even considering that 3 seconds behind, the amount of health that is there with the rival fight is definitely not going to be kind enough to Sade for those 3 seconds.
Yeah.
However, that was a very good run. I saw some very good strategies from both sides of the court, and it was very interesting to watch how both runners played it. Zombie being able to pull that off, even though having taken that death at the highway was not ideal. Definitely one of those things, though, that you have to give proof, though, that even in bad situations, you can get good runs, even on, like, trying your best. It is definitely going to be one of those things where the RNG, but also the skill will help in both regards.
Yeah, and there we go, Sade is out of the rival fight as well.
Doing a little taunting, I do appreciate that. Very nice, very nice.
So the rest are not gonna go into round 2, I think. Gonna wait and see.
I will definitely say, though, I'm very interested to see these next rounds. I'm interested to see if Sade can pull it back, or if Zombie is going to take the 2-0 sweep tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to tell. I have a feeling that we are gonna see a free rounder here, because I don't think any of the rounds really want to lose this one, because we have to keep in mind their life in the tournament is at line here.
This is a 2-step tournament. This is the loser's bracket, after all.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they continue to play. Definitely interested to see how this one continues to play out, as both runners are pretty good at this game, as we've seen in the past.
Yep. But I feel like we are gonna get a free rounder here. I don't think that any one of these rounds are gonna want to lose. I feel like Sade is definitely gonna bring their best game to round number 2 to ensure that they are surviving this tournament.
Let's keep in mind also that there is a prize on the line over here. So they are also fighting to stay for that prize.
Indeed, the prize is 100 Australian dollars, where the winner takes 75 and this runner-up gets 25.
Also, still gift cards.
The prize was donated generously by Speedrunning Academy, which is a website where people can learn more about speedrunning, and where they are aiming to put up speedrunning guides in an easy to browse way to make it easier for people to get into speedrunning. So round seems to be getting ready for round 2. Gonna check out, see how they are doing. So it looks like the runs are getting ready. We are soon gonna see a countdown, I think.
I would definitely like to say, though, the competition itself is very interesting to watch over, as I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, the PV stance is set up that you were not able to join unless you were above a certain PV time. Something interesting, it's also something I would totally recommend you doing. If you do ever look into doing like tournaments or whatever, look for the beginner stuff. There's normally prerequisites, and it's a great way to get into the tournament scene of any game. Plus, you also get that chance to maybe even show up and do something like this.
Yeah, to tell a little history about that, like, we have been wanting to get people into running this game for quite a bit, newer runners, and we wanted to have tournaments, but we really didn't want to have a... We really want to have a tournament where people could feel like they could participate even though they were not top runners. We decided to make a beginners tournament so that newer people could join in a tournament to get a little bit of that speedrunning racing experience.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, and it's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you go. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah, no, don't worry, but yeah, because it was like, we had to like think a little bit, because we really wanted to have like a more beginner-friendly tournament. So we really aimed for that, and it was like a long talk to like try to figure out which time we would have. It was really rough to set up a time, because we didn't want the time too low, or too low, because we wanted people to like be able to participate. Basically, we kind of had the time we had, because that is like below that time we set is like the time when people are gonna start to implement really good speedrunning strategies, which means at that point it's gonna be really rough for other people to catch up within a week. We want to make it so that even if a runner had previous experience with running the game, it would like be able to catch up with them in a week. There was a lot of going back and forth which time we would have, but I'm pretty happy with the time we have and how the tournament has been so far.
I will definitely say, though, it's definitely been interesting to watch these, to see how they've deviated from my own. They're off to the races, folks. Both of them starting at about the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
This was really nice, as they are starting right in sync. So this time we can actually see exactly where each of the runners are.
This is excellent. We don't have to worry about the 3-second delay.
Yep.
As we can see here.
Looks like Zombie is a little Zombie ahead, I would say so, yeah.
It looks to be Zombie is ahead by quite a bit, actually, as Zombie is going into the
He was taking quite a lot of damage here in the first section.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to help in the later sections. If possible, Sade may have to take a death on the blast jumper, as that can definitely be a thing that happens. Something to note on that tower right there, you can clear it in 3 jumps. It is very 3 precise jumps, but it is possible to clear it in 3 jumps.
Yeah, personally, just go for landing and then...
Oh, that is not good, but that will benefit in the long run, as they are still going. Zombie is still playing some of the best Bleed 2 of their lives, as they are just going at it.
Indeed. Sade is doing relatively well as well here.
Going into the blast jumper, it seems like Sade may not have to take an automatic death for that, or take an intentional death. Both of them getting pretty good reflect attacks during this section. Very much beneficial to both of their scores. However, Zombie seems to have gotten good with RNG, as they are not able to, as the blast jumper does not go out of range, and they're on the right side of the screen. Something very useful to know is that if the blast jumper is on the right side of the screen by the time of death, it will result in a much shorter cutscene into the next section.
Yeah, so now they're going to also into the mirror core, and Sade's health situation is still looking as good as before. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But what's really interesting is Zombie's health situation here.
He's looking like he's going flawless up in this beat.
Yeah!
I'm impressed. Oh, well, we've jinxed it. We've jinxed it.
Yeah,
no, party's over.
Commentators should never ever point out that the health situation is looking good, because then
we're gonna just jinx it. Zombie, though, getting 3 streams and not taking advantage of those reflects, that's gonna be a little bit of DPS loss in that regard. However, it does seem like they're gonna at least get one.
Yeah, Zombie seems to be a little conservative with going for reflex in this boss fight.
It does seem like that, and it seems like it may pay off, though, as they are on to the next section if they can survive this, which they most certainly should be able to, and if they don't, I have many questions. But it does seem like they have succeeded, and they're going to be moving to the next section.
This is also about to get out with a little bit sketchy health situation here. And there we go. That was scary. That was scary to look at Sade's screen.
It's like what Thalfon just said. It's like talking about a shutout during a hockey game. You just don't do that!
Yeah.
But it does seem like that... It does seem like it is going well for Zombie. It seems like the first one may have had a problem with Sade at this point, but it does seem... But they're both going to the highway section. The kitty core may allow Sade to catch up a bit.
Yeah. I am very curious here, though, to see what patterns this kitty shopper is giving the runners. Zombie's having a really bad time at the beginning here. What you really don't want that boss to do is exactly what the boss did there, which is going behind the screen. Because that's like 4 or 5 seconds you can't do anything to deal damage.
It is absolutely one of the worst time losses. However, we have just gotten the car to come in. I was expecting that car to straight up to suplex Zombie, but it does seem like it was avoided.
Yeah, Zombie's going into the tunnel now.
The tunnel is probably one of the quickest sections of the game in and of itself, aside from the Rex Rocket fight, which is fairly quick in and of itself. There's definitely a lot of pathing routes that could be taken here, but it does not seem like they're taking much advantage to the 3 jumps, but they are making it pretty well with help to the rival fight.
Yep.
And it seems like they're getting pretty lucky with that missile coming straight up and going straight back down, return to sender on that rival.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how this is going for the runners here. I'm not really liking Sade's health situation here.
Definitely going to be one of those situations where Sade may have to take that intentional death at the very start of the highway.
Yeah,
or if possible,
I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about... there we go. There we go, Sade got out. I was more concerned about Sade taking too much damage in that boss fight because it's really easy to take damage on the semi-core fight.
I had enough confidence in it that they would be able to survive that. It does not seem like they're going to be taking that intentional death. They are going on the best reflection game of their lives. They're going to have to want to wait till that health bar does show up before they take that intentional death. Otherwise, they may not be taking it at all.
I don't think Sade is going to take an intentional death from this fight because this fight is very, very rare to lose due to taking damage.
That's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bold though because it's really, really rare to take damage in this fight.
It is, but it's also one of those things. Oh no, it's the car section. Oh no!
Yeah, there we go, beautiful. But yeah, you have to keep in mind Sade has 2 health left.
Absolutely.
And taking 2 hits on this fight is really rare.
But even then, even for me, I would have been the one to take that intentional death because I would have no confidence at all. But it seems like Sade is going to full send it, and
I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work out for Sade here. This is a boss fight where you are not really gonna take a lot of damage on.
Absolutely, and it seems like Zombie has cleared it pretty well, and with Sade is getting some pretty good RNG with not having to do a reflect stage at all.
There we go! That
seems
was
like
really close.
Caught up quite a bit.
Both rounds seem to be 3 out of 3 here, I think.
I didn't think I saw a single reflect on Sade's side, did you?
No, there was none.
That's the kind of RNG you're looking for in a really nice run.
Yeah. The reflect one is the slowest pattern, actually, by far.
Which one?
The reflect pattern is the slowest pattern by far to get. It's also the hardest one to get, right?
Yeah, it definitely does not help when you get that reflect one, because not only do you gotta wait for the cars to come down, but you've also gotta really hope that you just hit the front of it and not the side, otherwise that car ain't going back anywhere, it's gonna hit yours.
Yeah. It's very, very easy to get the wrong angle on that reflex. And there we go! They're going into the red sprite fight. Zombie's getting 3, 4, 5 purples in a row.
If I hadn't seen the starting where they had hit normal, I would have thought...
purples.
I was
7 purples.
Oh my gosh,
purples!
If I hadn't seen the starting section where they hit normal, I would have thought this game was on super easy mode, because my god, that luck was insanity!
9 purples in a row, that is really good luck. I cannot stress enough how lucky that is.
That is some tight time loss. This may be a new PB for Zombie over here.
Yeah, Zombie is looking on Zombie's definitely looking to be on PB pace here, and Zombie seems to be a little more, I won't say confident in their playstyle this round.
But it does seem like they're doing pretty tightly. Let's see if they go for the katana strat again. I don't believe they will, but let's see if they do try to go for it.
Yeah.
It does not look like it. It does seem like he's also... One thing that I would like to notice is that he's not trying to two-cycle the ninja, because... Fun fact, in this, you can two-cycle him, where if you can get enough damage on him during his dash at you, and then reflect, you can still hit him. And that is definitely something that I'm not seeing here, but I am seeing from Sade.
Yeah, Zombie is not going for the katana strat either this round. Zombie keeps on going for slower strategies on this fight, which as I said earlier, I'm not really thinking is
It's a bold move. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out.
The slower strat on this fight that is used here is gonna leave Sade a little bit of opportunity to catch up. As I said earlier, Sade is catching up a little bit here, but what I said earlier is that on this part of the fight, it's really important to keep on dealing damage to the boss, because otherwise you are losing so much time, especially if you're not going for the katana strategy, because there is like so much dead space where you are not doing any damage.
And it's got so much health as well that you've got to really wonder with the katana strategy, when is it worth it and when is it not? When you have at least over half...
The boss actually has really little health. You know so little health that boss has when you go for katana strat.
Yeah, the katana strat, definitely. When you use the katana strat, oh boy, that health goes down. But when you are dead spacing it, oh, that is not good. It will not help. Going into the Rex rocket fight, Zombie looking like they've got a pretty significant amount of health. And they're both going into the rocket section pretty
Sade
well.
also has a really good health situation. I would say that none of the runs really need to worry about health here. What matters now is how quickly they can deal with the boss.
Absolutely, and if the reflections will pay off, well, Zombie getting that missile off. There we go. Well done. That's definitely going to be dealing a pretty solid chunk of damage, as well as getting those
Zombie seems to be
off. Out of the fight already. That dropped.
That was a really quick Rex rocket fight.
Has Zombie got that good RNG today? We'll find out.
I saw a gold there. I think I saw a gold split on Zombie's end.
Absolutely, and
you can see when they get gold, because the text is actually turning gold on the victory screen, and Zombie had a gold there, so Zombie definitely golded this split. That was the best Zombie has ever done that fight.
I think we can both agree that Rex Rocket Gold sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not going to help with that kill. We're going into the shaft spammer with Zombie, as well as Sade is still moving into it. Sade is definitely... Even though Sade is using a controller, that aim is still really, really good. Yeah. I'm surprised that aim is still good for a controller, but then again, I have seen Apex players, and I can definitely tell you that aim is pretty good. Shaft Spammer fight going into it, and they've managed to reflect one with Zombie. Zombie is getting out while Sade is getting in. This is definitely a very interesting situation we've got here.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting race to see to the end, because it looks like Sade is a little bit behind now, but we have to keep in mind that I think before this race started, Sade did have the advantage in PB, I think I heard rumors of. And there we go! Sade getting the reflect. And Zombies in the tunnel is just about to get out of there.
I definitely would like to say this section is certainly one of the tougher sections. Just going up here, the RNG may not be in your favor, but if you're pointing your gun directly in the direction you're moving, you should be safe to go.
Yeah.
The meteor fight is definitely not nice.
Zombies now heading into the gauntlet.
Is that the unofficial name that we use around here on the forums?
Yeah, it's gauntlet. At least I call it that.
I like it, and I'm going to start using it. But going into it, it does seem like they're not going for any reflections on Zombies' end. That may cost a little bit more damage that they may require. Trying to slow down time there. But they are getting a reflection, but they do not use it, as it is just a good idea just to shoot him.
It looks like Sade is about a boss fight behind right now, and Zombie's having a pretty good health situation. If I were Zombie now, I would probably take some intentional damage on this part of the fight. But it doesn't seem like that is in the plans for Zombie.
Zombie is definitely doing pretty well on this run, and I'm definitely going to suggest that if they are able to hear us, that they should take an intentional death coming up. And it seems like the damage that they are taking is going to be that
it's not worth to do it now. Zombie has too much health to take an intentional death at this point.
Intentional death at this point may be
what is usually done on that part is that you take some damage on purpose on the Robogibians Duke fight. So you only have like 1 or 2 health points going into this fight. But with the strategy that Zombie is using, it might not actually be needed, because Zombie is going for a really safe strategy, still a little fast actually.
Something to note about those rockets is that the katana absolutely shreds them, and is definitely one of those things that you will be wanting to use during that part of the fight. However, it does seem like they are playing it safe and just trying to shoot and reflect these attacks. Definitely an interesting strategy they're going for here, but I wouldn't expect to see anything much else in these beginner tournaments, as they are more geared towards the beginner strategies.
I think you are missing some of the details about Zombie strategy actually. Zombie is actually using a quite interesting strategy that I have not seen any other runner use in this game. And that is using the time slow to deal some damage on the boss when the boss is facing them. That way they get some of the benefits from the fastest strategy imaginable, which is the spinning around strategy, without all of the risk it brings.
Definitely a good idea, and I definitely do like that idea.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like that strategy. Sade is going for spinning around with the boss strategy here, which is a strategy that Zombie is kind of replicating with their strategy, but doing it in a safer way. The spinning around strategy is a strategy that is mostly used in a very top end running. Absolutely. It's not something I'm expecting to see anyone successfully pull off in this strategy.
If I do see anyone successfully pull off that strategy, I'm going to be very confused and also wondering, is this still a beginner tournament?
Yeah, I have seen people going for that strategy, but I haven't seen anyone perfect it. Zombie strategy seems to be the best approach in this tournament.
Well, it seems like they've almost gotten to the segment slider flawlessly. They did take a hit there. However, it does seem like the RNG is going to be a bit in their favor, as they're going to have a very large amount of time to attack that.
Yeah.
But it does not seem like they're going to be getting a reflection chance with these ones. That's not going to help very much in this scenario. The spinning around strategy needs a better name, according to Thalfun. What do you say? The wheelie go round or something?
I usually call it around the world strat when I'm running on my stream, but
I absolutely love that name. I love that name a lot. Definitely going to be a strategy that
That is a meme name.
Around the world, it is definitely a meme name, and I love it.
Yeah, it is one of the most...
Some of the best strats in speedrunning history have meme names, and I definitely like that idea.
But it is one of the scariest strategies to pull off in this game. I can't stress enough how hard that strategy is.
You're definitely going to want to go into that
I don't expect anyone in these tournaments to actually pull that one off successfully.
Imagine if someone did
have actually implemented a little bit just like Sade did in this tournament, because it is a very rough strategy. But speaking of that, the rounds are now... Zombie is into the Nemesis core, and Sade is into the segment slider. Sade is getting a really good segment slider here. We can see what the time says on that. It's a 1:05, I think it was.
Definitely, I'm seeing some good things coming out of this one. Zombie's going to want to get really lucky with those reflections, as they are really lacking on that health. I think that's about 3 hit points remaining.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about the health situation here. I'm more concerned about them getting the patterns, because when you are in this health situation, it's getting a little scary to do this.
Absolutely, but it does seem like they are pulling it off pretty well. Oh, that strategy.
Oh, no, this is not good. This is not good on Zombie's end.
Oh no, they didn't get a single one.
Yeah, that means that they are gonna have to wait an additional cycle. And that can be pricey. That's what I talk about when it becomes scary here with the health situation. Because then you don't do some strategies correctly, because you are taking the safe try to conserve health. That is a huge mistake to think on this course.
It does seem like they are doing pretty well, though.
I hope Zombie's gonna do a slow motion here to...
I hope Zombie finishes out this segment, otherwise Sade is going to be catching up pretty quickly. But we're going into what we'd like to consider the graveyard. This is where all good runs and bad runs go to die.
Yeah, I think zombies gonna go down into the pit here and
absolutely they are.
There we go.
There we go. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, that's what we want to see here.
That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Jumping down into the pit in the bubble section. I cannot stress enough how important it is to take the safety hit there if you are unsure.
I have just noticed that
if you have a sketchy situation, it's better to do it.
That section before this area does definitely remind me of the tower and how you can clear it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
However, it does seem like Zombie is going into the Ant Battalion, and this is definitely going to be one of those RNG moments where if Sade can get through the graveyard fast enough, they may be able to catch up really well.
They might be able to catch up if Zombie has horrible RNG and Sade has good RNG.
We definitely want to see some good RNG because we like them down to the wire matches.
Yeah, we do. It's way more interesting that way.
A lot more to commentate about. Oh, we're hitting a reflect off. Ooh, Pac-Man.
Ooh, there we go.
On first cycle of half health. Ooh.
Oh no, Sade seems to have a little problem in the bubble section here.
This is definitely going to be one of those segments where you do not want to be making a whole lot of mistakes. Let's hope that yellow bullet does not follow them into the next screen, because that would suck. But it does seem like, does seem like after 3 cycles, Zombie is going to secure the Ant Battalion down as Sade goes into it. Definitely going to want to be looking for some bad RNG for Zombie if we're going to be seeing Sade catching up.
I wouldn't say so. I think there's definitely room left for Sade to catch up.
Definitely. When it comes to Zombie, Sade seems to have gotten some alright RNG with getting a Pac-Man off. However, it does not seem like there was a purple there, and that is definitely not going to be helping the situation. However, it does seem like they're able to get it off.
It does help. It's actually better to get a yellow Pac-Man than no Pac-Man at all.
That is fair. That is extremely fair. Pac-Man in general is probably one of the best ones. Next follow-up, in my opinion, would be the Saw. If you can get the Saw as well, oh, that's a good run right there. But Sade is definitely going to get another purple Pac-Man. And just barely. Speaking of the Saw, there it is! I guess you could say you barely saw it.
Sade's having a really good time in that fight. But as that happens though, Zombie is in the... He's just about to get out first step of the Valentine fight.
Valentine is definitely going to be one of those enemies that you will have to try to predict as much as possible, otherwise you will not have a good time.
Yep.
Zombie definitely handling it pretty well, though. No, those wisps at the top of the screen that Zombie just saw, those are bulletproof, so unfortunately you cannot shoot through those. Something I didn't know for quite a bit of time until I figured out, oh wait, I can't shoot through these, no! Anything that is solid blue, you are not able to shoot through, which is very interesting to note.
It is.
Would you like to explain the reason behind that?
Well, because you can't shoot through them.
I was hoping for the explanation about the hair colors, but okay.
that is like all there is to it. Like, it is solid objects you are not meant to shoot through.
Honestly, whenever I was thinking like, well, maybe it's because the Valentine's hair is blue. That's why you can't shoot through it. But it's like, no.
I was gonna say that, but it was more fun when I said what I said. Admit it.
Yeah, that was more funny. That was definitely a lot better. But yeah, as I was trying to hint towards, the type of bullet that you can reflect is actually based on the hair color of the character you're playing as.
Yeah. What needs to be said though about those things that falls down is that you actually can dodge them without finding the large opening. The hitboxes in this game are actually a lot smaller than you expect them to be.
Definitely something that you want to look towards. Are we going to see a shield lock here? It does not seem like we are, but...
I don't think any of the runners practice a shield lock.
I did.
Because if they were practicing them, I think they would have used the starts from.
Shield lock is definitely one of those things that's very luck-based. You're definitely, while your timing is going to be essential to it, sometimes you've just got to wonder if it is worth the risk or not for that extra damage.
It's not a risk at all, actually. It's just benefits if you get it.
That's fair, but what I mean by that is if they are able to nail it.
Even if you fail it, you are not losing any time.
That makes a lot of sense. Shield lock, though, is definitely one of those skills that definitely can help speed up a time.
Yeah, it's like a strategy you have to practice to learn, though, because it takes a little while. Let's see how it's looking.
Definitely, but Zombie, they have just finished the
Zombie
showdown.
is absolutely in the lead, and it seems like Zombie is on pace for a
new PB?
27 this race. Yeah, it looks like Zombie is on pace for a PB here. It's gonna be rough though. There is a lot of stage left, and Sade is not that far behind if we're gonna be honest here.
There's someone has just posted a potential lore explanation to why some certain bullets can't be reflected. If you take white and subtract off magenta and yellow, what's left is cyan. So cyan is the color completely independent of both magenta and yellow. I like that. I like
that too.
Can we make that official somewhere?
Yeah, we probably can. We probably can. And that's probably intentional as well.
I definitely like the idea, and it definitely makes sense regarding both not only her hair, but also the general run itself. When it comes to these sections, there's definitely a lot of strategy that you're going to want to go coming into it. If you don't have that strategy, you may not benefit as well as other people may.
Yeah.
But going into it, we're seeing the rival fight as Sade is clearing up the Valentine fight, with Zombie getting incredible luck on that placement of missiles. Holy cow!
Getting all of them. Getting all of the missile reflects. This is
getting
really,
two
really
of them off as well.
Zombies here.
Zombie is definitely
having a really good time on this boss right now. I'm having a hard time seeing Sade being able to catch this up, but I might be positively surprised.
Definitely, especially if Zombie tries to go for a run and then ends up dying on a boss fight towards the end. That could definitely help Sade catch up a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the runners are knowing how they are doing compared to one another.
I don't believe they do.
Yeah, I don't believe that either, because if that was the case, I would probably see Zombie play a lot safer than they are playing.
But then again, that's the point of a race. Play as much as you can, try to get them good runs. And it is definitely being seen with Zombie here. He is playing his heart out. He is playing some of the best freaking Bleed 2 of his life.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how Sade is gonna catch up. If Sade is able to catch up, though. Sade is gonna go into the
rival core.
Into the whale core fight.
Called the whale core? I didn't know it was called the whale core.
It is. Don't you see that it looks like a whale?
I kind of see it, but I also kind of see the bird core more. Like a caw. Still a boss and a half between these two. Now, Zombie this could definitely be where Zombie gets their comeuppance if they are not careful with how they play this one out.
Zombie is looking really safe right now, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Playing that reflect well.
Yeah. The only issue is that Zombie has too much health to take a safety death before the rival fight, but too little health to be safe in the rival fight.
Absolutely, that middle.
Zombie's like absolutely on the line between.
Should I take it and should I not?
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be up to personal choice and how this fight goes out. They're definitely at a half-health situation.
There is no reason for Zombie to take an intentional death here.
Absolutely.
But it is scary to not take the intentional death here, because half a health bar in the rival fight is not a fun story, so we gotta see what happens here.
As Telephone would like to say, Zombie doesn't have a brake pedal, they're just sending it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he said there's like no reason to take the safe death there when you have that much health, but
and with that dive kick, it's going to be a very good one.
It's really useful to take safety deaths before the rival fight because the rival has much health.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to be one of those situations where if he does die, this is going to be a situation where Sade could very easily catch up if they do die.
Yeah. Sade can absolutely catch up if Zombie dies in this part, especially this deep into the rival fight.
Yeah, they are past the halfway point. If they do die, this is going to be very bad for Zombie, and we may see another round.
They are gonna lose. Yeah, they're gonna lose a lot.
Oh, that's. I think they're about one health.
Scary.
That's a little scary on that regard.
You have 2 health. You have 2 health left. I think they're gonna pull it off here. I think they're gonna pull it off. Zombie has 2 health left, and Rival has very little health left. And there we go. It seems like it's game.
Oh, just barely above a sub 27. I'm impressed on that regard. Wowzers!
Yeah, that was a really good run. Really, really good run, and it was a golden split as well for Zombie. You can see that it's a golden split on the final result screen there, like when you see the time. If the time is gold colored, it is a personal best in that course.
Absolutely wonderful.
We saw a lot of goals on Zombies end for this race.
When it comes to personal best, it does only pop up after the game clear screen. That's definitely where it's going to be considered the end of the run. So even if the rival dies, you still got to wait for the end of the game clear screen, so you definitely got to take that into consideration when you're looking at PBs.
Yeah. Sade is now going into rival fight as well. Let's see what kind of rival Sade is getting. Sade is getting a gun and a lovely little kick. This is the kind of start you want for rival fight. Getting some more rockets. The rockets are actually a really rough pattern, as there are many moments that we can't hurt the pop. And get some more pistols here, and a yellow kick Sade instead of a purple one.
The dive kicks
Sade is having a really good time with this fight. Oh, and he took a death there. That's not what we want to see.
That's not. But we're definitely going to be seeing some tennis here, going for some quick ping pong strategy right there.
We are gonna give Zombie their second point though. Cannot forget that.
Oh yeah.
And there we go. Zombie got 2 points.
Seems like Zombie will be moving on to the losers bracket of the next round.
Yeah, and Sade is sadly out of the tournament.
Unfortunate. They did show a lot of promise in that regard, and they still definitely do with the amount that they can pull off.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting how Sade continues to evolve in this game.
Yeah, it is called Whalecore. There you go, Chef Spammer.
Yeah.
I definitely do like all the art style in this game, and this is definitely going to be one of those games that if you do want to get into speedrunning, this is probably one of the best entryways into it. It's a very cheap game, it's a very quick game, and it's one of those games that has a lot of nuances, but it's still a lot of fun to play casually.
Yeah. The game is actually kind of like made with that kind of gameplay in mind too. A lot of mechanics in this game are made to feel good when speedrunning. So it's like a game that feels really, really naturally good to speedrun. Because the movement is like as made for speedrun, but now the race is over, and we are probably gonna try to invite our runners over for some post-run interviews. And there we go.
Definitely, it was good.
We sent out invites to the runners now for interviews.
Definitely, though, a really good runs from both of them, and I would love to see how future runs go in this regard. It seems we do have one of the people here, Zombie. Hello.
Yes, Zombie's here.
Oh, okay, I've ended. Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize my mic was off there. Hi, hello.
Hey.
I've gotten in again. Wow. Is Sade
Sade has finished out the run.
Oh, cool. Yes, man. That was something.
You definitely played really well.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. I didn't even expect that because I'm gonna be honest, I have not been online in 3 days.
Dude, I feel that. That was how I was during my round.
I mean, in the first round, you could tell I clearly didn't practice at all for anything because I didn't, because, well, I'm lazy, and I come in now, and I beat my PB in the
You
tourney.
definitely did. You got almost a sub 27. You almost got a sub 27, which is incredible.
Almost got a 26. You almost got a 26.
Yeah, I was close to a 26, but I will take a goddamn 27. Not only, like, the time reductions between each run, too, were crazy.
Absolutely.
Is Sade gonna hop in the
Sadly, no. They said they couldn't.
Oh, alright. Well, if they're still watching the stream, I just have a few words for them. Cut yourself some goddamn slack. Like, the whole time they were telling me, like, oh man, I'm gonna lose. And I get it, you know, you understand that your competition's better than you, but that you can't put that on yourself. You can't. And plus, I mean, you were telling me earlier about how you were getting 25 minutes and 26 minutes, times I could only goddamn dream of.
feel that. I feel that.
In my time, and you were doing that on a practice run, and I don't want you to say like you shouldn't, because you do. It's a matter of skill and practice, and if you need more of it, well, you need more of it. Hell, I don't even know how I got here. I will be totally honest, I don't know how I'm sitting in the winner's corner right now. I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't be. I don't know how, but I'm here, you know.
Well, how does it feel knowing that you may get a rematch with Alina, or you may be going up against me during the next round?
Oh, really? Well, good. Well, truth be told, I have nothing but hope. I'm not gonna be, cocky and say like again, like,
Absolutely.
oh, I'm gonna absolutely positively destroy you in some stupid evil villain voice like I did last time.
$1 million.
Oh, what a valiant time I've had doing this, but now I have to absolutely annihilate you and every single molecule that you have inside of you, all of them. I'm gonna turn you into a sandwich. That's right. That's what's fucking happening. I'm gonna turn you into a goddamn sandwich. I'm gonna beat you so goddamn hard at this video game, I'm gonna turn you into a sandwich. You ain't going to see it coming. You know what's the worst part? I'll turn you into a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, but guess what I'm gonna fucking forget?
The bacon.
You know?
I mean, that's the best part of that kind of sandwich.
Yeah, I know. Like, you can't have a sandwich without meat. And if you have a sandwich without meat, you're either a vegan or crazy. And I don't like you if you're a vegan, so.
What about peanut butter and jelly?
Oh my god, best sandwich. No fighting. No fighting. Anyway, but god.
Those are some great runs out of both competitors.
I know. Sade was doing really well. Sade seemed like, at least maybe on my end, maybe it's just stream delay, I'm not sure, but Sade was ahead of me in some parts. Like, I remember...
Absolutely, they were.
I have the SpeedGaming channel on my phone, and I, like, look over every few minutes just to, like, check on everything, you know. I'll just check on the run, and every time when I would be fighting the ship core, it would look like Sade was in the balls room, as I call it, which I did for the first time clear that hitless. I'm pretty sure I did it hitless on stream, which was pretty crazy because it is not easy to complete hitless. I'll tell you. I was
gonna say that graveyard run. I saw the end of that where you were on 1 bit of health. Oh my god, my butt was clenching. That was the scariest I've seen someone go through the graveyard.
Oh, the balls room, yeah. Did I do that in 1 health? I'm pretty sure I got tunnel vision, and I didn't even.
At the very end of it, you were at close to the end. You were on 1 health, and you were struggling.
I didn't even notice, man.
I have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
Shoot, man, I got.
Are there any tasks you have practiced in particular between this race and the last race and this one?
Well, practice any what?
Any particular things you have practiced between the races?
No practice. None. Okay. Absolutely none. It's the truth. There's no practice.
It's the true way of procrastination.
Literally.
Then I have another little thing. I noticed you have a very special strategy on the white fight.
Yeah, I kind of, you mentioned last time how that was a decent strategy of, going around him. And I kind of realized, like, during that, it was a little more worth it, and it saves a little more time with, being able to damage him more. I did kind of adapt that. It kind of, like, popped into my head when I got on the first run and onto the white fight. I was like, oh, I should be using this. And it worked out really well. Yeah,
I'm really liking how you are mixing in time slow with it to make it a viable strategy, even without having to do it on the absolute highest level. I'm really impressed over coming up with that solution for that problem.
Wait, using a time slow for what?
For spinning around with the boss.
Yep, that's not just a normal thing people did?
No, usually the strategy is that you just go around it fully, because the reason for that is because time slow, if I remember correctly from what I was reading...
It does decrease your DPS a little bit.
Exactly.
Well, see, the thing is with that, when you're going in regular time, even though it does decrease your DPS, you still have more of an opening right there. I think
Yeah.
the way time slow works in game isn't super conventional. And I know that's a weird thing, but I think it's built to be a little different. It's something doesn't feel like a time slow with it. It feels like you're slowing down the world around you and not yourself. Seriously, I mean, it feels like that, but
Yeah.
it feels like you are still moving faster than everything else. So
Oh yeah, you
I
are.
think
You are.
the decreased DPS is still like it's kind of counteracted by the fact that you now have more of an opening for that, you know, the ball in the white fight. And I feel like the white fight was kind of built with time slow in mind, which is why like, you know, the ring is, you know, more open on that one side and it's easier to hit him that way. I feel like it was kind of built with that in mind, which is what probably made me think of using it. Because, like I said on the first run, I am an absolute sucker for video game design, and I will look into it. I use it to my advantage often.
Yeah, and it seems like it really paid off in this race.
Yeah, it did.
Are you going to be doing any I do have one question for you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Are you going to be doing any practice going into your next round, which will be against Gigi from your gal Gigi? Do you have anything that you're going to be practicing, or are you just going to be trying to wing it as you go along?
Probably trying to wing it, judging by the fact that I didn't practice at all and absolutely kicked butt. And to be honest with you guys, the reason I don't practice is I have like probably 8 different things I'm working on at once.
I feel it.
I'll be like making something in RPG Maker, and a friend will message me like, "Hey, get on! I want to do a stream." I'm like, "Okay," and I leave that open, inflate my hours on it, and I just go absolutely crazy. But the weird thing is, like, it seems like every time I get on for the tourney, something just kicks in. And it's like, okay, we're going to reduce our PB by a total of a minute on this stream, and no one is going to bat an eye.
Yeah. Well, I will definitely say I batted several eyes. I was whoa, that's a pretty good time there, bruv.
Yeah, and now that I'm actually here on the winner's corner, I mentioned this in the Bleed Running Discord, but I wanted to say it here. Everybody fucking hated me on the last tourney. I noticed like it felt like everyone was just kind of like, "Oh, this new guy? Oh, we don't know this new guy. Let's not say a single word of encouragement to him this entire time." And that's not throwing any shade to like anyone's friends who came in and just wanted to cheer on Ali, but I just thought it was really funny that I come in. It's my first race. I had no practice for this, and nobody's like saying, "Yeah, go the underdog." Yeah, they're all just cheering for Ali, and I thought it was really funny. But yeah, I did see some of my my friends come in from from other servers I'm in into this run, so I'm glad they were here for it.
Well, the hope is, let's see where that confidence and where that joy takes you with that idea of you being the underdog, as you will be going against Jagal Gigi during the losers round. And then following that, you may be going against Ali again, or you will be going against myself for that next round to go into that finishing match. Where if you do, where either way, you're going to be seeing Ali at least one more time during this tournament, if you do make it past Gigi.
I think I have pretty good confidence I'll see Ali again, you know, in a race.
Let's see where that takes you.
I think by then, I'll be more ready, you know, because first time I'd probably been my 10th run on the game in its entirety, and I was inexperienced, you know. I was still averaging 29 minutes, but I think that'll change. I think that'll change by the time we get there.
We cross those bridges when we get there, right?
Oh yeah, we cross those bridges when we get there. That is who I am as a person. Look, listen, if it's on a bridge 50 miles away, we're gonna leave that bridge on fire, and we're just gonna go across the one that's in front of you. We don't gotta worry about that one for another 50 miles. Get my drift.
But that 50 miles is gonna be rapidly approaching if you make it through the next round.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I'm ready for it. Sorry, it's kind of like 8:30 where I am right now, so
understandable. Thank you for joining us tonight.
No problem.
It's 2:30 where I am.
Oh man, AM or PM?
AM.
Oh lord.
The time zones are very spread out during this tournament, my friend. That's why it's so hard to organize.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Oh god. What time was it for Sade, I wonder? Are they in EST too?
I know.
Oh no. I can imagine
Oh,
Sade.
no.
Did I wake up Sade at like 3 a.m. their time to just wipe the floor with them and then they go back to bed? Oh no. Oh god, now I feel bad.
It's definitely one of those things that you don't consider until after the match. It's like, wait, what time is it?
What time is it for Sade?
What
Sade
time is
could
it
be,
in
like,
general?
Sade could have like gotten off right afterwards and just absolutely conked out on his bed, or her bed, sorry, and just went to bed, and I could never know. But I think other than that, though, fellas, I am gonna head off for now. My friends are probably screaming at me.
I will also try to go away soon, and I think that was it for today's race.
We'll definitely see, though. I'm very excited to see how this tournament plays out. As this losers round has been very interesting to watch. Can't wait to see the next one, and can't wait to continue playing in this tournament.
Yeah, so we are about halfway through this tournament, I want to say, in terms of how many races we have had. So this tournament is really starting to shape up a little bit, and the rounds are getting closer and closer to the finals.
Absolutely, and with those finals comes that prize eventually. And
wait, prize?
There's a prize.
What?
The winner gets $75.
Oh shit! I gotta win now. I didn't even know there was a prize. I thought we were doing this for fun.
I was gonna say, would you have continued playing even if it was for fun?
Yes, of course. That's what I've thought. That's the impression I've been under the entire time. Is we were just having fun with this. I didn't know there was $75 involved.
We've got him. We've got him running, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how that plays out.
First place gets $75 Australian, and second place gets 25. And the prize money was kindly donated to us by Speedrunning Academy, which is a website that is focused on organizing speedrunning tutorials in a convenient manner to get new runners to learn the strategies for a game, to make the transition into speedrunning a lot easier for newer runners.
Interesting. Well, as I said, fellas, I am going to be heading off. You two have a good night. And
you as well, my good sir. We'll see you in the next round.
And I can't wait to see you in the next round. And I can't wait to see the next round as well that we are going to have for this tournament. So for everyone who liked what they watched today, please stay tuned because there will be more. Have a great night, everyone. And we'll see you whenever the next race is happening for this tournament. Good night and sleep tight and have a super good one.
Goodbye.
Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.